Hey guys, how's it going? This is Footy Mates again with another banger video, and today we're trying something new. We're thinking of starting a weekly video where we go over teams, our FPL teams, and tips and tricks for all the FPL fans out there. We just want to try and see, captaincy, what new transfers can come in or go out, look at some long-term planning, look at any stats or something in the market that's come up, like injury or a team that's doing so well. Just discuss here and there, discuss our points from the previous week, and give you guys some tips on who you could bring in based on your own teams. So yeah, looking forward to it. And here we have Vishwas Dave with us. This man achieved a top 1.8K last year. So I think we're looking at some really good advice for for the season that's coming up. And yeah, Vishwas, what would you like to say?
Yeah, I mean, good to be back FPL this year again. It's looking good. It's looking fun. With regards to my game week 2 score, if you can share your screen, I'll just go through that. But yeah, in the meantime, I got a 73 points last week, and my main point scorer was Jesus, who I unluckily didn't captain, and I went with Haaland, who at least got an assist, so he gave me 10 points in total. And along with that, I think the back line was really strong. James scored a goal, and all the others kept a clean sheet. So yeah, it's looking good. How about you, Dashil?
Yeah, I really wish Foden passed the ball at least. He deserved to be subbed off for that. But yeah, I was really contemplating between who I should captain, and yeah, I knew Jesus looked really good in the first game, so I should have. But it happens. You just got to think about FPL as a marathon, not just every game week. And yeah, hopefully I will make the right decision this week. And we'll get to that later. But yeah, I think my team's pretty much same as yours. I just had Edison instead of Ramsdale, so that was a good shout because I trust City's defense way more than Arsenal, despite both of us being Arsenal fans.
Definitely.
They always concede,
Should
so
have
I think
trusted
that was a good
Jesus
choice.
more.
Exactly, you trusted the wrong Arsenal person. But yeah, I think you had Trippier instead of Bailey, who I had. So that's a big disappointment on my end. And that is a bonus for you for getting Trippier for both your first two games and Newcastle defense being so solid. But yeah, I think overall I'm pretty happy. I wish I had chosen Haaland in first week, and that's why my rank's not that great for now. But we'll talk soon
Yeah, I guess it's
when we
okay.
get better.
It's just the start. Rank shouldn't really matter right now. Yeah, as long as you have a good team, you'll probably be able to reach the top
Yeah.
50K plus, hopefully.
Yeah. I think what I think of it is that you need to try and gather as much information as you can in the first few weeks. It's not just about let's see what we can get for next week and then we'll switch him out again. Like it's more like a long run thing. Try to get as much information, build a structure as you'd want, and a structure that can be varied with, play around with a lot. At least like between wildcards, like for the first 8 game weeks, if you're not using wildcards, you need to have a plan that you're going to try and follow. Of course, you can't follow as exactly planned, but approximately.
Yeah, I'm guessing having like a formation in mind, which is sort of flexible, can give you a good option. Like right now, a lot of the big six teams players are quite nicely sort of priced, and you can have a good defense of a top six team. You have a lot of good 8 million midfielders in Diaz, Foden, Saka. So yeah, I think finding a good balance is important so that it helps you in the long run.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Uh,
Yeah, let's go over the fixtures if you want to. We go over them
yeah.
one by one, see what people can get, who they think is a good pick, who they should avoid, and who is like in the middle.
Yeah, so I think it's best to go fixture by fixture. I have the game week 3 fixtures with me, and the first game,
Yeah,
which is the early kickoff, is Tottenham versus Wolves. And if I had to give you, I guess, a player or two from each team, I would say Perisic could be a differential, but again, we never know with Conte. He could end up playing Emerson Royal and someone else. But I think we'll know a bit earlier because a lot of the times the teams come out. Team leaks are quite frequent in early kickoffs, so maybe we'll find something
yeah,
like that. What are your thoughts on Neto and Wolves players?
Yeah. I think Perisic and Neto have been in a lot of there've been a lot of debates about them on Twitter and everything. And yeah, for I think for people who are in some time zones like me in Canada, it's really hard to follow last minute changes. So you really need to be planned from before. Uh, but I think for Neto, he's a good pick for later. I was just seeing some of his fixtures, and I think you can see on this site we can be able to see his next few fixtures, and you can see how Wolves have Tottenham right now. So I do not think you should play him at this point. But he has, if you look, he has Bournemouth and Southampton coming up, and I think those are really good fixtures
Yeah,
for a Wolves forward. And Wolves are a team that they can bang a few goals in quick succession if you give them this time and space. And he wasn't that bad in his first two games. Like if you look
yeah.
at
I
the
mean,
stats, underlying
if you
stats,
saw the game, I think there was one like very clear open chance which he should have probably scored. But at the same time, I think Wolves have bought Guedes and Palhinha, not Palhinha, the other guy, Nunes, I think, or the guy
hmm,
from Portugal. And
yeah.
yeah, those guys will probably strengthen the squad even more. So it's looking good for Wolves, especially game week 5 and 6.
Yeah. Especially we need to look at like other factors that affect the team too. If you just look at, Ronaldo or like say prime Ronaldo in Wolves, you don't expect him to do the best. But if you have a good team who's making good signings, who's playing good football, are in good form, that's a big thing. And I know Wolves haven't had the best start to the season. In fact, a pretty shit start. But I think they're going to get better. They're like XG and all looks pretty okay to me. And I wouldn't play Neto right now, but I don't think if I do, I'm not going to force a transfer. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
I'm going to try and keep him just for these weeks, and for now, I'll just bench him and just observe what's going on.
yeah.
But
Unless
yeah,
there's someone
moving
who's
on.
like you really want for Neto, that's the only time I would sell him. Otherwise, I don't think you should take a -4 on Neto or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking too. But yeah, in terms of Perisic, I think it isn't the worst decision in the world to buy him, because he did get a crucial assist at the end of last game against Chelsea, and it's a gamble, right? If you think you're someone wants to gamble and get ahead of the pack, have a differential, yeah, sure. But I personally would wait 1 or 2 more weeks before I can see if I want him.
Yeah. The next
But yeah, I
fixture.
think,
Sorry, go ahead.
but
Okay. The next fixture is Palace Villa. I don't think you need to discuss much here. I think if you own Bailey, you should probably sell him off. And someone like me who missed the price drop because I just slept that day and didn't realize. So for me, yeah, it's going to be tough now. But I think if you have Bailey, get rid of him. In terms of bringing players in, I don't see many that I would like to have right now. Apart from if you really are looking for another striker in the market, then Watkins may be one that I would keep an eye on. But nothing apart from that.
yeah, I think strikers, we might, when we go over like Brentford, we can talk about Tony, Mitrovic, Fulham.
Right.
But yeah, Watkins not that bad a shout. I think Digne is someone who people were really pissed at from last week,
Yeah, the
because
own
of the
goal.
old goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess that's FPL, the good old game. People are always going to feel like, oh, 90 minutes, here we go, and then the last minute goal and everything's gone. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I think a lot of people are looking to get rid of Digne because they don't really have the best pictures coming up in terms of West Ham, Arsenal, City,
Yeah.
Leicester.
See a
You
lot
still
of
have the
red
Reds,
there.
and
So yeah, it
yeah,
doesn't look
so
good.
and Palace too. Like I expect them to score usually on a two
Speaking of
average team, right?
Palace,
Against average team.
they've been really good, I think, especially against Liverpool. They were a good team. But apart from as
Yeah,
an FPL asset, I don't know who to really pick apart from. I'd guess Zaha is the only standout guy. But I think the fixtures right
I think
now, I don't know.
I'm not sure what Ez's price, but I think
I
I'd
think
probably
it's
get Eze if
5.5.
possible.
I want to say Eze is 5.5. I think.
Yeah, he is, and he's 1.5% owned. But yeah, I think Eze is a pretty good pick for if you expect Palace to have a good game where like they're scoring a lot of goals. I'm not sure if Villa is a good team to bank against, but let's see the fixtures. Yeah, I don't think you would want to have some Crystal Palace players if they're facing City next, but maybe when they're facing Manu, yeah, I think they have alternating fixtures, not a
Yeah,
great run for now. Maybe till like game week 12. So yeah, I don't think we'd
maybe a
spend too
team
much
to
time
think about
discussing
in the
that.
wild card, I guess.
Yeah, probably for while starting
Um,
around game week
the
8.
next fixture is Everton Nottingham Forest. I don't see much happening in that fixture. Is there anyone you particularly like? Not for me, at least.
No, I saw. I think that a lot of people are transferring in Patterson from Everton,
Oh yeah,
and that might be a good shout. But I don't know. I feel like I'm looking more of long run. I don't want to just buy players because I see one or two. I know there's like three good fixtures here, but still Everton's not the best team to keep clean sheets. So I don't know. It's
yeah.
up to you if you think is in 4M. I think, which is good,
I guess
pretty
this
good
is
price
the
to
4 million
ensure
defender face off, which is Nico Williams against Patterson.
Patterson.
So
Yeah,
maybe if
yeah.
you want to start them, this is
But
the fixture to do so.
yeah, I don't. In terms of Nottingham Forest, I don't really have belief that they will get a lot of clean sheets. So people who think that yeah, Dean Anderson did amazing, I do not rely too much on that. I think it was more of a one-off, and they
Yeah.
could have been scored very easily.
Yep. So not much on that. Fulham Brentford. Um, I think I do want to talk about Brentford as a team and their fixtures coming up. I think they look like a
Yeah.
solid team, especially we saw the result last week against United. I mean, the less spoken about that, the better, because I know we have some Man U fans who would have to have some words with later on. But yeah, I think Ivan Tony could be a fantastic option for the run in. They have quite a few good fixtures, and at 7 million, if you are looking for a striker, I think Tony would be my number one pick.
Yeah, I think for Brentford, mostly I just picked Tony because you can see here for the next 5 game weeks, no other team has all green. It's
Right.
literally just Brentford. So they have a really good run. They have a top striker who's got an amazing team around him who played really well. I know they were in the back of like a win against Man U, which is not the best thing to celebrate about as given their poor form. But still, I think they have pretty good football going on there. Tony is definitely going to give some rewards at some point. Don't know how much, but yeah, it's a big structure change. That's the only thing for me. I think I can't really afford to get a 7M striker right now when I'm trying to like set my defense properly and get rid of Bailey and Neto. But yeah, eventually I might consider maybe
If
in like 1 or 2 weeks when I
if
have
you
some
own
transfers.
Mitrovic, do you move to Tony? Find 1 million and move to Tony, or I think it's
Uh,
pretty close, right? Mitro and Tony are quite similarly priced, I think.
I think if you have spare transfers, sure, but you cannot be taking hits because you might end up regretting this a lot. But
Right.
also, yeah, we can see that Fulham has Arsenal, Tottenham, and Chelsea in the next five. So you could, if possible, definitely move away because Tony's predicted points are 100% higher.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Brentford, I think they're a confidence team. When they've come off a win against
Yeah,
United, I think with these fixtures they can definitely do some damage.
yeah. I think that for sure
I know a lot of
form
people are
there in
also
matters.
picking Da Silva. I'd just be cautious
Hmm.
because I think the goal that he scored against United, I mean, more than anything, it was a De Gea mistake and not really a Da Silva brilliance.
Yeah,
So, and I've not seen much. Even the statistics don't show that great of a XGI or anything like that. So
yeah. I
I
think I
I
was
would
seeing
avoid.
XG is like 0.07. He outperformed his XG like really highly. So
Yeah.
I know a lot
So
of people. Maybe if you're like new into FPL, you might be thinking that yeah, he scored 2 goals in his first 2 games, pretty cheap. It's not the worst pick. I'm not saying it's you're up to your own opinions, but I feel like maybe he's a bench player more than a starting 11.
yeah, when you see
Uh,
680,000 transfers for Josh Da Silva, you have to wonder who are
yeah,
these people?
yeah. But
Yeah.
I feel like you need to do your own due diligence and not just follow the crowd.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways,
The
move on to the
next
next match.
fixture, I think it'll be a good game, and we've seen good results from these teams in the past. Is Leicester Southampton. I famously remember the 9-0
Hmm.
victory, but for this season, Leicester have had a tough start. So I don't know. And apparently,
Yeah.
I was reading that Fofana and Tielemans will both be dropped. Is That's what the reports are saying? And if that is the case,
So
then I don't. Leicester could be in a bit of trouble. And as well
yeah,
as
yeah,
Southampton, though they haven't done great, but even their players are sort of settling in. So I think it's hard to
yeah,
call this game, I would say.
yeah. I think mostly no one really has a lot of players of theirs. I think Ward. Some people might be signing in Ward and the keeper from Leicester, and a lot of people transferred him in too. So yeah, I think depends on your other keeper, but it just because you have just because they're facing Southampton doesn't mean they will get a clean sheet. You know, it's a difference between a big team that has a good defense and compared to like Leicester, like not everyone gets a clean sheet against Southampton. They even scored against Tottenham, like when you expect Tottenham to keep a lot of clean sheets, right? So don't
Yeah.
just trust because they have an easy fixture. Sometimes it's better to have a bigger team player like Ramsdale or Edison playing ahead because even though they might be having a harder fixture, they have a solid defense.
And with Leicester, you always know there's a set piece threat always happening. So if they give away a cheap free kick or a good corner, James Ward-Prowse, could
Very
benefit from
strong.
that. So that's, I guess, the one player I would say who could be good against Leicester. But
Yeah, and also
yeah,
like they have Chelsea and Manu upcoming, so yeah,
so yeah,
beware.
nothing great there. The next fixture is Bournemouth Arsenal, and I think this is a good fixture because Arsenal obviously have won the first two games and they look like they're in winning form. And we saw Bournemouth against City last week, and they didn't really put up good numbers. I know it's City because I mean City are City; they probably rule every team. But I expect
Yeah,
Arsenal to do the same. And the players, if you have your Martinellis and your Jesus, definitely keep them, play them out. Not be thinking of selling Jesus, especially, which a lot of managers did after game week one, and they're probably regretting it now. But
yeah.
yeah, that's that. And I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say about Arsenal?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have been discussing whether they should triple up on Arsenal or just double up. I think Martinelli and Jesus is a very common combination, but thinking about Saka, Zinchenko, Ramsdale, if they should have because if here you see Bournemouth, Fulham, Aston Villa, Man U, Everton, Brentford, that is pretty good in my
Yeah, a great
opinion.
run of fixtures.
They
Yeah.
have a really good run of fixtures and they're in top form right now, touchwood. So I really hope they do well for my personal benefit. But like for FPL, I think it is definitely not a bad shout to have Zinchenko. I know his price went up to 5.1 in the first week, so it's very hard for me to get him in again into my team because I only had one. I only had 1 million, and I had a 4 million defender, so it's impossible
Right.
unless like a structure change or moving money around. But I think Jesus would be a great captain
That's right.
too,
Yeah.
but I always believe like how Haaland first week he did amazing, and then a lot of people are like, oh, he's facing Bournemouth for sure, they'll do amazing. And on the it's not always easy to score two goals and then have a good return once more. And when you compare him, Jesus to someone like Salah, you know that there's extra clean sheet points, extra goal points.
Yeah. The
You get
midfield
5
option. Yeah.
points for a goal. Yeah, so that's always there. And Jesus is coming back on a run of two goals and two assists. So it's not easy to replicate that. I know expectations are always high, but it is possible. I know Arsenal in top form.
Yeah,
Bournemouth
I
have
mean,
just
I have
got
no
beaten 4-0.
complaints for someone who does pick Jesus because it's not a bad option at all. But yeah, some of the
Yeah,
other picks and in captaincy in Salah against United, which we'll come to later, yeah, will always be
yeah,
equally good. And if you are looking at Arsenal defense, I think a cheap option could be Saliba at 4.5. I know he scored an own goal last game, but he's looked really solid, I think, and he's fit right into the team. And it'd take a lot for him to be
yeah.
dropped. So I think it's a good option.
Yeah, as Arsenal fans, we can tell you for sure that he's nailed on and he's cheap. He's 4.5. You expect Arsenal to get some clean sheets. I expect that I'd more so try and get full backs instead of centre backs. That's
Yeah.
my ideal principle, ideal team. But yeah, I think Saliba's pretty cheap option. You don't really get a lot of 4.5 midfield defenders who have such good clean sheet odds. So that's great. But
I have a
yeah,
question for you. Would if you have
yeah.
Saka, do you move to Martinelli and save the 2 million or 1.7 or
I
something
think
now?
Yeah, I think there's a lot to consider. First of all, Martinelli's price is has increased by 0.3. So if you end up making that switch, you're left with a kind of odd number in the money in the bank in terms of
Right.
1.7 million. So that's something to consider, and you have to do a structure change. You don't want to just waste that money. You need to have an additional plan, and I wanted you to try and see the combination. Say if you have just different examples like Robertson and Cucurella over Diaz and Cucurella over like Robertson and Martinelli or something of that sort, where
Right.
you see what two do you expect to get better points from. You don't just look at individual, like yeah, Saka to Martinelli, but what are you doing with the extra money? Is it worth that extra money? Is it giving you more benefit from going to Martinelli? And you do know Saka has not given returns for the first, he did give returns in the first game, but he is a class player who is nailed on, and it could easily be switched around where Saka starts getting more points than Martinelli, right?
Right. And
He
yeah,
is
I
always
think we
looking
know as Arsenal
threatening on that.
fans that Saka is has carried us through for a long period of time. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely one like it's I won't be upset, but I think if you want to make a good upgrade somewhere else, like let's say you want to move a Dutch striker to a Tony, and for that if you have to
yeah,
sacrifice Saka to a Martinelli, I won't be against that personally.
yeah, definitely.
So yeah,
I'm down
as
for
the
that
Shield
too.
said, if you have a plan, I think then yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
The next fixture is Leeds versus Chelsea. What do you think about this one?
So I see a lot of people are thinking about Chelsea's fixtures in terms of a solid defense, and I totally agree with that. When you have Leeds, Leicester, Southampton, West Ham, Fulham coming up, if you want to double up, go for it. If you want to get Cucurella, that's what I believe in. I'm actually personally getting Cucurella in this week
Okay.
because I believe to have two dangerous left wing back and right wing back of Chelsea is really good. You can get assist points, goal points, clean sheet points, bonus points because they're on set pieces and corners too. So really they're running the show at Chelsea in terms of fantasy points, in my opinion. And in terms of leads, I think Rodrigo is very common. He was highly transferred in,
Yeah.
and I really want him to, but I think I might just wait for 1 or 2 weeks before I can make a free transfer because I'm not facing Chelsea, and I don't really see him getting a lot of return predicted points in front of Chelsea.
Yeah, I think similarly, I think Cucurella is a great pick, no doubt about that. And I also think if I did go Mendy or Ramsdale at the start, I think I would have been in a much secure position. But I guess that's
Yeah,
FPL for you. But James definitely a must-have. If you don't, I think that would be the first defender I think I would recommend you to get because the threat that he has from set pieces and from even just his positioning in general is he's such a good asset. Cucurella looked solid against Spurs, and Tuchel has mentioned that Cucurella can play in a back three and a back four, and I think
yeah,
that gives him more advantage of being more nailed on. So that's
yeah, and I
definitely
think
yeah something that I would keep an eye
yeah,
on.
that. Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I think if anyone's looking at Mount, I know you've not had a great start with Mount. I think you should keep him if you have him yet. You don't transfer him in
Yeah,
maybe, but he might be a hold in my opinion because they have amazing fixtures, and I think he does have some good chances every game. It's just he hasn't converted yet, and maybe be patient if you have him already, and you don't have transfers. If you
yeah, and
do,
I
then
think
there's so
last
many options
season against
around that.
Leeds, he I think he got like a goal or two last season against Leeds. So
Yeah,
he
yeah,
likes playing against Leeds. So I think it's a hold for me personally.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
And with
Right,
Leeds,
move
I
on.
just wanted to say, Jesse Marsh has just said today in the press conference that Rodrigo might be the captain against Chelsea.
Oh,
So I think that just shows how nailed he is and how much probably a good option he could be if if Leeds decide look like
yeah,
they are good in attack. So one to keep an eye on. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure. For these
Uh,
fixtures, definitely watch watch out for him.
yeah. Next fixture is West Ham Brighton. And personally, I think we've all seen Potter. Potter's done wonderful things with this Brighton side. The system that he has kept, even with losing Bissouma. I thought their defense will be a bit shaky, but they've looked very solid. And Gross, who's the another player who's obviously scored twice against Manu and had a good chance missed against whoever they played last. I forgot. Newcastle, yeah. So
Yeah,
I think if you're investing in a Brighton defense or Gross, I won't be against it. And as we can see on the fixture ticker, Brighton have quite a few good fixtures as well. So if you believe that they are capable of scoring a few goals, then Welbeck as a differential could be an option. But yeah, what do you think?
yeah. I think my thoughts really are just for Pascal Gross. I think I was seeing the stats, and he has like the top second most shots in the 6 yard box or something of that sort for the last first 2 game weeks. So I think it's pretty good. He is going to get some returns, and they have amazing fixtures. Uh, I'd say one of the best, maybe like first tier or second tier in terms of fixtures.
Right.
So they're really good. And West Ham are on the back of 2 defeats. They haven't started off their tally yet. So I think Brighton are in a good spot. They have a great coach. They're performing well, and their last game was pretty good too. And Gross has already given returns. and I think his price is going up. So hopefully you can afford him still. But I don't really have any more thoughts on anyone else. I would avoid West Ham players for now, with given their form and their fixtures in terms of
Yeah,
Tottenham and Chelsea in the next four.
yeah. I
But
thought
yeah,
I thought that Benrahma was okay, but again, not someone that I would definitely bring in. But that free kick that
yeah,
almost went in was, and a few good plays. But
mm,
what can you do? I think yeah, as of now, avoid West Ham. Brighton players looking
yeah,
good, and you can probably go for either of a defender or a Pascal Gross. Next
yeah.
up is Newcastle Man City. Now, as a Trippier owner, I'm not looking forward to this fixture, but at the same time, uh, if Newcastle, I'm internally hoping that if they are to score from a corner or something, I hope Trippier takes that corner. But
Mm.
at the same time, I think, let's be real, City have been phenomenal in the opening fixtures. They look so much more fluid. I think De Bruyne playing in that number 10 role with Haaland up front is has made them so much better. So if you don't already have at least one City player, you should definitely look into getting one, be it Haaland, De Bruyne, Foden, or someone. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I feel very strongly about them, but on different ends. For Newcastle, please do not get their defenders. I really don't think it's a good idea to have when you have Man City, Liverpool, Crystal Palace, and maybe West Ham will get back into form by game week 7. You really don't want to be having a defender. Yeah, I know Trippier can give attacking returns, but look, like that, a lot of players can give good returns. It's just
Just
you
wishful
want those
thinking.
who have the most highest. Yeah, it's just a lot of people in your head can do well. It's just you want the highest probability of who's doing well. And I think especially people who've gotten like Shah after the first week, he's not going to score a lot of goals. Like if a defender scores a one-off, you don't need to bank on that. FPL is more of the long run. Who gets the most points by game week 38, not game week 3. So really think about that. Look at the fixtures from before. Do not. I strongly say avoid and strongly sell all Newcastle defenders. In terms of Man City, personally, I always double up on their defense because it's a bit more predictable of who they're going to line up with. And up front, it's very risky. Haaland and De Bruyne are usually the most nailed on, and Foden and Gundogan are like, it's always like a hit or miss. And I prefer not to go for hit or misses. So yeah, but yeah, let's keep moving to the next team.
The last game of the week, and it's the Monday Night Football game, Man United versus Liverpool. Ah, are you excited?
I'm really excited to see a battering. I so hope that Liverpool destroy Man U and they're at the same state we were in last season. I'm really looking forward to it and hopefully I don't curse it. But yeah, definitely Captain Salah. Do not miss out on that opportunity. Uh, let Man U get Casemiro and let him start. I know I used to like Real Madrid so much, but he's not going to be able to do the same magic here in Man U. Uh, that's what I feel. But that's a different topic to consider. In terms of just FPL, I think Salah, Robertson, uh, Arnold are the three picks that I have. I know a lot of people will be very excited about Diaz because of his beautiful play. He did have an amazing match and deserved to
Yep,
be man of the
what a
match
goal.
in his previous match. Yeah, it was crazy. Love him for his work rate and his technical ability. But it's definitely not a bad thing to keep Robertson too. I think people are very hasty in deciding. I know he's a 7 million defender, so it is valid for you to think that if he has a return in two, I'll get rid of him. Fair, that's your choice, and that's not a bad shout. But as long as you're keeping three Liverpool people, I think I really have faith in them. I know they haven't had the best starts, not just the points that they have, but how they've been playing. But they will pick up. They just need some time to like settle in.
Yeah, I mean, I was one of those guys who went Robertson over Diaz just to save that 1 million in defense. And obviously, the
Yeah,
first two game weeks is not paid off, but at the same time, I think the next few fixtures are looking quite good for Liverpool. And if the few injuries that they have had, if some of the players are back, like Joe Gomez and Konate and Matip, I think their defense will be a sure thing again. But again, I have no problems with
yeah,
anyone going Diaz. He's looking really good. 8 million is a bargain
yeah.
for him, I think. And what a shame, because I think this week could have been a great week to get Darwin in, because I think the run of fixtures is good, and I think he would be bullying Martinez as well. I think if he was playing against him, but oh well, you can't do much about that. So yeah, I think if
That
you
would have been
own
fun to watch.
Yeah, I think so. Someone like me, I used to I own Bailey and Robertson, and what I did think before the price drop was I could move from Bailey and Robertson to get Bailey to Diaz and move Robertson to Cucurella, for example. And that is
Yeah,
something that was on the cards before the price drop, and unfortunately for me, I couldn't do it. But again, I think
yeah,
I think if you have Robertson now and you there's already been a price drop, you stick with him, and vice versa. If you have Diaz, stay with him. Um, Apart from that, I think we have
yeah,
Salah looked good against Palace. Definitely, he got he was getting double marked and stuff on the right hand side, so that was not
yeah,
good for him. But yeah, I think you keep the faith, and I think that you had a stat, the Shield, that said I think 5 goals in the last 3 games against United. So
yeah. He scored five in the last three against United, and I think he's captain like more than 50% by FPL managers this game week three. So yeah, he definitely lose out if he scores if he has like a hat trick again or something. I mean, that's not really easily likely. I know Man U have not had a good run, but you don't just blindly trust Salah. But I think he's a good shout against Man U for sure, and he's had a good history against Man U, so definitely a
right,
good shout for captain.
yeah, and any Manu players? No, no or none right now.
Avoid Manu. Do not have any Manu player. That is the
Yeah,
worst
I'd
thing to
agree.
do right now. If you want to shoot yourself in the foot, yeah, go for it. Uh, but yeah, what are you thinking? Is it just maybe Cucurella in, or any other thoughts for your
Yeah,
team?
so I have two free transfers because I didn't do any last week. So I think
Yeah,
I'd probably looking at Newcastle's fixtures, probably move out Trippier and Bailey. Bailey again, I don't know how nailed he is and how good he's going to be. So I'll probably move out move in Cucurella or Perisic for Trippier, and then get a 5 million midfielder in I don't know, I guess Dewsbury Hall, who could probably do well against the Southampton, or maybe
yeah.
yeah, someone like a 5 million midfielder. I don't think there are many great options, but I think you just stick with the one that you like, to be honest.
Fair, fair. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, I think even me, main concept is big six team or big seven team kind of if Newcastle's included. Although I currently think you shouldn't have Trippier, but yeah, big six. I want to try and get in some Nico Williams. I want to get Cucurella because I don't believe Nottingham Forest going to get many clean sheets or attacking returns.
Right.
So I want to try and get someone who's more nailed on and higher probability. And Cucurella is, I think he's almost as good as James at a much cheaper price. So I want to get him in, and I just have Edison different from your team. It's pretty much the same, and I think you're going to bench Neto and
Yeah, so if
bring
I
in a
bring
replacement
in
for Bailey.
yeah, if I bring in or like a Dewsbury Hall, then I'll play him over a Neto personally. So yeah, that would be my change.
And your captain,
Captain Salah right now, and Vice is on Haaland, but it could change to Jesus. It doesn't matter because Salah, I'm predicting, will at
yeah, I
least
think
score one.
there's some talks. Yeah, but I think there's some talks about Manu game being postponed because of the riots or something like the rebels from the fans. But yeah, I don't know how likely that is. But maybe vice captain does matter this week, so watch out for that. You might regret later if you have it as someone like James just for fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that concludes it. Let us know in the comments if you think anything that you have any other ideas on, any other arguments or discrepancies. But this is what we think. Hopefully, this game week three, Liverpool defense provides some returns finally, and may Arsenal win and top the table. Uh, yeah.
Yep. Okay. See you.
All right. See you guys.